Do you love watching crime documentaries? Perhaps you just like the thrill of watching movies and shows in that genre. Or maybe it's because you have a knack for solving crimes. Well, in that case, did you know that there were crimes that were actually solved by the internet? From missing persons, unidentified bodies, and cold cases that police could not solve, you'd be surprised at the cases that people on the internet were able to solve. Hi there, welcome to our channel Eventful Insights. Today in this video, we'll be talking about the top 9 crimes, among many others, that people on the internet solved. We'll discuss these crime cases and find out how the internet solved them. Before we begin, can you tell us in the comments below, have you personally helped solve any crime cases on the internet before? We'd be thrilled to read that in the comments. Now, let's begin. At number 9, The Girl in the Tent. Barbara Ann Hackman. Taylor's lifeless body, wrapped in a tarp, was discovered on May 17, 1968, leading to the assumption of a homicide. Because of that, she acquired the nickname Tent Girl due to the material enveloping her and the mystery surrounding her true identity. Years later, Todd Matthews, who had married the daughter of the individual who initially found the body, took it upon himself to investigate the unresolved case. Delving into online resources such as public databases and missing persons websites, Matthews eventually uncovered a connection. The Hackman family had reported a missing relative whose narrative aligned with Tent Girl's. After establishing contact, authorities were alerted, resulting in the positive identification of Tent Girl. What are the odds, right? Moving to number 8, the Linda Jane Hart case. Before we begin with this case, you should know about the web sleuths. WebSleuths.com serves as a gathering place for amateur detectives dedicated to discussing unsolved cases, united by a common goal, solving mysteries that law enforcement hasn't been able to crack. Among these sleuths is Carl Koppelman, a former Disney accountant who actively participates in the website by moderating a forum focused on unidentified victims. The forum's purpose is to identify missing individuals by cross-referencing information from coroner's reports. Koppelman's involvement in this endeavor proved instrumental in uncovering the identity of Linda Jane Hart, missing since 1988. Although Hart's remains were discovered in an abandoned parking lot, she was initially classified as a Jane Doe. It wasn't until 2011 that Koppelman's investigative skills led to the successful identification of Linda Jane Hart. Next, at number 7, the Crystal Theobald shooting incident. The 2021 Netflix documentary, Why Did You Kill Me?, recounts the tragic story of Crystal Theobald and her family's relentless pursuit of justice. In 2006, Theobald lost her life when a local gang, mistakenly thinking that the car she was in belonged to rival gang members, carried out a drive-by shooting. The attack resulted in Theobald's death and injuries to her boyfriend. Seeking answers, Theobald's mother, Belinda Lane, created a fake MySpace account to connect with members of the gang. Through this online interaction, she befriended William Sotelo, who confessed to his involvement in the shooting along with others. Ultimately, Sotelo faced charges of voluntary manslaughter, while Julio Heredia, the identified shooter, was convicted of first-degree murder. Have you watched that Netflix documentary? Moving on at number 6, the Andrea Bowman case. In this case, amateur detective Carl Koppelman strikes again, this time in resolving the disappearance of teenager Andrea Bowman. Bowman faced abuse from her adoptive father Dennis before mysteriously vanishing from his residence. Years later, Koppelman initiated online research and stumbled upon an active Classmates.com page registered under Bowman's name. Upon contacting the page owner, he discovered it was Bowman's biological mother. Collaborating on the investigation, they reached the conclusion that Bowman's abusive adoptive father was likely responsible for her disappearance. In turn, the police obtained his DNA, linking it to a previous murder. Faced with the evidence, he then confessed to the killing of Andrea. It seems like Koppelman's becoming a hero on our list, right? For number 5, let's get to know a stolen laptop case, finding Sean Power's laptop. Sean Power, a Canadian web consultant, fell victim to a laptop thief during his visit to New York City. Upon returning to Canada, he received an alert from a tracking tool called Prey, indicating that his computer was in use and providing screenshots of the user. The individual, who logged into Skype using his real name, unwittingly revealed his identity, face, and location to Power. Leveraging the support of his 12,000 formerly Twitter followers, they collectively discovered that the thief owned a restaurant named Oficina Latina. Power enlisted the help of a female friend for investigation, and an ex-follower named Nick Reese went to the restaurant on Power's behalf. Fortunately, they successfully retrieved the bag and laptop. In a surprising turn of events, Power called the perpetrator to express gratitude for returning his belongings. Can you believe those crimes were actually solved by people on the internet? Which case has amazed you the most so far? Tell us in the comments below. Now, let's continue with number 4, the Stubenville High School case. This highly publicized and controversial incident revolved around a crime committed against a 16-year-old high school student. The disturbing act was widely shared on social media, with numerous individuals documenting the event through text messages and platforms such as Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube. Crime blogger and amateur sleuth Andrea Goddard played a crucial role in uncovering and publicly releasing many of these posts. Additionally, an anonymous offshoot called Night Sec leaked extra footage, contributing significantly to the widespread attention the Stubenville case received, making it a national news story. The information revealed by both Goddard and Night Sec played a vital role in exposing the perpetrators, who were subsequently convicted and sentenced to 1 and 2 years in juvenile detention, respectively. We're now down to the last 3 cases on our list. At number 3, William Francis Melchert Dinkel's case. In this case, a married father of 2 engaged in online chat rooms, assuming the identity of a depressed 20-something woman. He would then initiate fake death pacts with individuals in despair, providing them with detailed instructions. In November 2006, Celia Blay, a retired schoolteacher, learned of a person using the alias Lee Doe who had entered into a death pact with her friend. Blay conducted an investigation into Lee Doe and discovered other aliases and previous agreements. Despite the lack of interest from the police, Blay took matters into her own hands and organized a sting operation. This operation enabled her to trace the user's IP address back to William Francis Melchert Dinkel in Minnesota. Subsequently, the St. Paul Police Department apprehended him, leading to his conviction on 2 counts. He then served a 178-day prison sentence. Then, at number 2, we have lottery ticket winner Abraham Shakespeare case. In 2006, Abraham Shakespeare, while purchasing cigarettes at a convenience store in Florida, decided to take a chance and bought some lottery tickets. Those tickets turned out to be the source of his $17 million fortune. Subsequently, a woman named D.D. Moore entered into a business partnership with Shakespeare, ultimately gaining complete control over the funds. When Shakespeare mysteriously disappeared, suspicions immediately fell on Moore. She countered by asserting that Shakespeare had chosen to live in a remote location, weary of constant monetary demands. Web sleuths also implicated Moore, and an anonymous user defending her was traced through their IP address, leading directly to Moore herself. She was later arrested in connection with Shakespeare's death, as his body was discovered in the backyard of her residence. And finally, number 1 on our list, the Luca Magnata cat killer case. In 2010, a video showing violence against animals was uploaded online, prompting the formation of a Facebook group dedicated to unveiling the person responsible. Eventually, the amateur investigators received a tip pointing them towards the name Luca Magnata, possibly disclosed by Magnata himself. Through their efforts, the group successfully correlated their findings with publicly available photos of Magnata achieving their goal. Later on, in 2012, the group's attention was drawn to the tragic killing of student June Lin in Montreal, Canada, depicted in a graphic video. Their collective efforts played a role in connecting Magnata to the perpetrator in the video. Law enforcement traced Magnata to Berlin, where he was apprehended and extradited back to Canada. He was then sentenced to life in prison. This Luca Magnata case actually turned into a Netflix documentary as well. Have you watched it? And that's it. Those were the top 9 crimes that were solved by the internet. Do you think that you also have what it takes to solve a crime that couldn't be solved by the police? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell to get notified on our next video. Thanks for watching.